We thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm Lauren Maloney. Vermont dairy farm workers are lining the streets outside Hannaford and Williston right now, telling people not to shop at the chain supermarket. This comes just a week and a half after 8 migrant farm workers were detained by U.S. Customs in a border patrol in far northern Vermont. ABC 22's Matt Holderman is live at the protest in Williston right now. Matt, what are some of these workers telling you?
Yeah, Lauren, well, I'll start by saying it is still active and busy here at the Williston Hannaford, as you can probably hear behind me, and as you can see. A lot of these protesters have homemade drums and homemade maracas that they are beating on and shaking right now, and they've been here, many of them, since 7 o'clock this morning when Hannaford opened, and they plan to stay here through the rest of the night. Now, this is all being organized by the group Migrant Justice and their Milk with Dignity campaign, and they are speaking out against what they say are human rights abuses taking place on dairy farms that source Hannaford brand milk. For now the fifth year in a row, Vermont dairy farm workers led a demonstration outside Hannaford, calling on the store to support their Milk with Dignity campaign and asking people not to shop there until the chain complies. One of the protesters this year, named Hilario, works on a dairy farm in Addison, Vermont, and he's translated here by Marita Canedo.
Es para expresar los problemas que venimos pasando en los ranchos lecheros.
We want to share all the struggles that we face every day in the dairy farms, but also the solutions.
The group's ultimate goal is getting big-name corporations to only source their milk from farms that follow specific codes of conduct and ethics for their workers. Some well-known companies like Ben & Jerry's have signed on, but Hannaford has not, and the workers say they still endure unsafe and unfair working and living conditions.
Housing can be really crowded and not in the best conditions. We work long hours, and sometimes we don't have a day off.
This year's demonstration comes just a week and a half after 8 migrant workers at Pleasant Valley Farms in Berkshire were suddenly detained by U.S. CBP agents and brought to Northwest State Correctional Facility. On top of that, other detainments by ICE agents have gone to the courts and gained national attention, including the case of Mohsen Madawi versus President Donald Trump. Hilario says he sees Trump's second term the same as the first one so far, only this time he thinks they're trying to insert more fear into migrants' communities. While he says the recent developments have been confusing and frustrating, it's also made the dairy farm worker community even stronger.
These detentions actually bring us together closer. As a community, we have to support each other, help each other, and actually transform this fear into action and coming out to the streets and speak up.
Their thoughts on the picket today, and Director of External Communications Erica Dodge told me this, quote, Hannaford strongly supports the fair and dignified treatment of all workers in our supply chain, and we recognize that migrant farm workers face vulnerabilities and challenges unique to their circumstance. This is why we are engaging in a human rights impact assessment, a thorough third-party due diligence review of our dairy supply chain. And meanwhile, Hannaford continues to work with its suppliers to assess farms within its supply chain and ensure continued compliance with Ahold Delhaize's standards of engagement. Now, Ahold Delhaize is Hannaford's parent company, and Migrant Justice actually went to them with complaints recently. That led to both Hannaford and Migrant Justice now taking part in that human rights impact assessment that I mentioned, and they're in that together. So members of the organization, Migrant Justice, are hopeful that could lead to some results for them and maybe better working conditions. In the meantime, though, tonight's protest is expected to last until 11 p.m. when Hannaford closes. I don't think these guys are going anywhere anytime soon. They've been banging on the drums constantly since I've been here, and they say anyone interested in their cause can come join them. So for now, reporting live in Williston, Matt Holderman, ABC 22 News.